I've had to split the video you're about to watch into 3 parts. Otherwise, we've got very slow uploading here. So feel free to watch part 1, part 2, and part 3. They'll each take about 2 hours to upload. So if you're watching this immediately, you might have to wait for part 2. Hello, dear friends. My name is Clive Thompson, and I'm with Clive Jr. here. Today, it's Sunday, October 19th, 2025. And today we're going to talk about the stock market. But I have a little story which I think will interest your children if you have somebody who's somewhere between the age of 8 and 18 years old, which will be part of the story today. So what a week it was. Stock markets went up and down like a yo-yo, and especially precious metals. It was absolutely haywire in the precious metals market. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about the stock market because I got a lot to say today, and I want to try and squeeze as much in as possible. But let's just say there were one of the main things which happened in the stock market last week was some regional banks reporting unexpected bad debts. And the consequence of that was the index related to those stocks went down a lot, the regional banking index, as did
What's a banking index?
Oh, an index is a collection of lots of things. You add them all up together, divide it by the number of components to get to a number. So let's say you've got 2 things in the index. One's worth 100 and the other one's worth 110. You add them both together to get 210, divide by 2 to get to 105. So that's the index level today, 105. But if the price of one of them changes, then you add the new number together and divide by 2 if there's only 2 of them in the index to get the new index level. So
sometimes if there's 3 in the index, you divide by 3.
Yes. And if there's 100 in the index, you divide by 100. So the regional banking index, I don't know how many stocks are actually in it. Probably quite a few. But the point was that index went down by 9% last week because there's some bad debts, and that means people are worried about the regional banking thing, banks. But now we don't know if there's going to be trouble with bad debts elsewhere, because this could just be a crack, or it might be an isolated incident. We don't know. So, what would you like to start with? Shall we talk about gold, or shall we talk about the story?
The story.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you this story, and if now is the time to bring in your kids, because I think kids will like this story. Now, this is a story of a giant transatlantic ship. And this ship is sailing from Southampton in England to New York. And by the way, there are some similarities to a true story here, but it's not exactly a true story. This is a story I've made up for the purposes of this exercise. So this giant ship, it's on its maiden voyage.
What's a maiden voyage?
The maiden voyage is the very first voyage, first ship, first time it sailed from somewhere to somewhere else. It's being tested to see if it works. And this giant ship is completely unsinkable, or so they say. And this ship is going to sail from Southampton in England to New York. And the ship is captained by a madman.
A madman?
Yeah, a madman. He's
What's a madman?
Someone who's completely nuts. He thinks he's God. He thinks he's the best in the world. He's only got one mission in mind. He doesn't see balance. He just sees whatever he sees is right. Anyway, his only mission, as far as he's concerned, is to break the world record for crossing the Atlantic in record time. He wants to sail the ship across the sea faster than anyone's ever sailed a ship across the sea from Southampton to New York ever before.
But I thought this was a maiden ship, so no one ever did this.
No, it's not. It's the maiden voyage for this ship. Lots of other ships have sailed across the ocean, but he wants this ship sailing for the first time, and he wants to break the record.
Oh, okay.
So everyone's been told that this massive ship is unsinkable, but since it's the maiden voyage, you can't be sure it won't sink, can you? So all the passengers are on the ship, and they're hearing, as the ship's steaming ahead, and it's going faster and faster across the Atlantic, they start to hear there are icebergs ahead.
By who?
Well, they hear from the telegram. They get telegrams on the ship warning of icebergs. Watch out, there's icebergs ahead, are the warnings. So people aren't too worried because the ship is supposedly unsinkable. And the good news is there's lifeboats on the ship, but unfortunately the bad news is there's not enough lifeboats for all the passengers. But there's another bit of good news. There's a shop on board, and the shop sells life rafts. They're small inflatable dinghies which you can go in if the ship sinks. Unfortunately, even with the life rafts, and the lifeboats, there's not enough of them for everybody to get in if the ship sinks. So if the cruise liner were to hit an iceberg, it could spell disaster because there just aren't enough lifeboats and life rafts for everyone. So one or two customers think on the boat, think, maybe I'll go to the shop. Now I've heard that there's icebergs ahead. Maybe I'll go to the shop and buy myself a life raft. So a few of them go to the shop and buy life rafts. And the owner of the shop who sells the life rafts starts to see that business is getting pretty brisk and he's running out of life rafts. So what does he do? He puts up the price.
How much?
Oh, a lot more than before, but still the buyers keep coming. And so he puts up the price again. So your steamship is powering ahead. It's going at full speed, faster and faster, and it's heading into the iceberg laden waters. And some passengers are starting to get nervous because the captain has thrown all caution to the wind. He's pushing the boat ahead, trying to get faster and faster across the Atlantic, faster than anyone else has done. And they think they start to realize, although they didn't realize it to start with, they start to realize that maybe the captain is absolutely mad. And people know that with a ship of that size, it takes miles and miles to stop it. So even if you see an iceberg, it could be miles, even if the iceberg's miles ahead in front of you, it could take you many miles to stop the ship or turn it around. And the worst news here on this on this large cruise liner is that the visibility is low.
What? The visibility is low? Is there fog?
That means, yeah, foggy. You can't see that far ahead. You can't see miles ahead, but to stop the ship would take some miles. It's going so fast.
Miles, not kilometers.
You can't to stop a ship. It would take a long time if it's a big ship.
Okay.
Some passengers are getting more and more worried, and you happen to be one of the passengers on the ship, and you think I'd better go and buy a life raft just in case. You're not too worried because the ship's unsinkable. You never know, but also you've noticed that everybody else wants to buy life rafts, so you've figured out something amazing. You think, as we get deeper into the Atlantic, where there are more and more icebergs, people are going to start getting more worried. So if I buy a life raft now, soon they'll run out of life rafts, and I'll be able to sell my life raft for a profit. So you go and buy yourself a life raft. You don't like the price you pay because it's a lot higher than you could have paid when the ship was in port. A lot higher than before there was any iceberg warning. But you still, smart guy, you go and buy your life raft. Now the ship's going.
Oh, so the price will go down soon because there won't be many left.
Well, there's not going to be enough for everybody, but you've got one anyway. And now the ship is getting deeper and deeper into the Atlantic Ocean, and the icebergs around, you can see them in the distance. Oh, they're all a long, long, long way, 5 miles away, 2 miles away. They're, when there's some visibility, you can see them. You're getting worried that there might be one ahead. You never know. And you feel that the price of you feel, people on the boat feel that the danger is getting up. And eventually someone comes along to you and says, I'd like to buy your life raft. So you propose a price which is much, much higher than you paid. The person doesn't like the price. He says, but how could you sell it for double the price I could have bought it for a week ago, 2 days ago? And you say, oh, well, you never know. There could be a disaster around the corner. Please pay the price if you want it. But the man says no. But then you start to see icebergs getting more and more numerous and more close. And then someone else comes up to buy the life raft and offers you 3 times the price you paid. It's a huge profit. Do you sell? Do you sell?
I wouldn't sell.
Well, this particular person who's got the life raft is very pleased by the offer. After all, even if the ship hits an iceberg, it's completely unsinkable, apparently. So he takes the money, he takes 3 times what he paid for it. And he's super happy, and he sends a telegram from the ship.
Now he has it.
He's sold the life raft to someone else. He's got no life raft anymore.
Wait, so you had the life raft?
Yep.
And then you sold it to someone else?
Yeah, because you could get 3 times the money. He thinks he's really clever, because even if the ship hits an iceberg, which he hopes it won't, it will all be okay, because everyone's told him that this ship is unsinkable.
And he has a lifeboat and a life thing.
But he did have a life raft, but he's now sold it.
Wait, I'm confused. Wait,
the guy who bought the life raft has now sold it.
Wait, I'm confused. Who's you?
Okay, well, let's say it's you who bought the life raft.
Oh.
Okay, you bought the life raft, but the shop has now run out of life rafts. They got no life rafts left. And because of no life rafts left, people are coming to you to try and buy your life raft because they're getting worried. And finally, you've sold it. I don't know if you're sensible or not. We'll find out. But you sold the life raft for 3 times your money. And you're so pleased with your profit that you send a telegram back home to your family and friends saying, what a clever boy you are, selling your life raft for 3 times what you paid for it. But now, the ship's speed is getting faster, and the icebergs are getting more and more numerous. And you have not been able to resist the temptation to take the profit.
No.
Suddenly, you hear a huge screeching sound. The ship has hit an iceberg. Don't worry, shouts the captain, the mad captain. Don't worry, everything's going to be all right. This ship is the biggest ship in the world, and it's the strongest. It's unsinkable. And the band on the deck plays on. The ship starts to tilt a little. You think, maybe it'd be a good idea to buy back the life raft I just sold. So you go to find the guy to whom you sold it and ask him if he'll sell it back to you. But now he wants double the price he paid you. You hate the idea of paying more to buy back something that you sold. You can't bear the thought of paying more, because that would prove that you were a fool to sell it in the first place. So very stubbornly, you refuse to buy it back. The ship starts tilting even.
That's like the man who wanted to buy from you before. First man who tried to buy from you.
Yes. The ship starts tilting even more. As a precaution, all the lifeboats are being lowered into the water, and they're loading up with the women and children. The captain keeps shouting that the ship can't sink, and the band keeps playing on. But not everybody's so sure. That's why they're jumping into the lifeboats.
Jumping?
Or jumping or climbing into the lifeboats. And the lifeboats are all sailing away. And the ship tilts even more. Now you think it must be a really good idea to buy that life raft back at the price he was asking. Even though he was asking double the price you sold it at, you've realized that you'd better buy it back. So you rush to find the man who's got the life raft to buy it back. So all the lifeboats are gone, and you start looking for the guy with the life raft. But as you look, it turns out that a lot of people are looking for him. They'd all like to buy his life raft too.
Wait, what? He's one of the only people who has a raft.
Well, there was a few life rafts on the ship, but they've all gone, and he's one of them. So, unfortunately, for all the people looking to buy his life raft, he's nowhere to be found.
He's probably hiding in his room somewhere. Oh, there he is.
Everyone who has a life raft is now gone. There are no more lifeboats. There are no more life rafts. And the ship is turning perpendicular.
What's perpendicular mean?
Perpendicular means from top to bottom, like that. That's perpendicular, pointing up, and horizontal is pointing that way. So a ship, when it floats horizontal. But if it starts to go perpendicular, it means it's about to go down. Perpendicular means pointing up or pointing down, depending which way you look at it. The ship is now turning perpendicular, and I will let you imagine the ending. Well, let's see what our viewers think of the ending. Now, the reason I'm telling this little story about the life raft is because we could be applying it to gold. So let's just jump in. Before I tell you about gold, let's just take a quick break so you can see a little bit more of a video about where I am, and you'll be able to see, I think, almost immediately where I am. So I'll just pause the video. I'll be back in a minute with the story about what happened to gold last week and how that relates to your lifeboat. So in this quick clip, which only lasts about a minute or so, you're going to see what happened to Mini Clive, but Clive Jr., when I left him alone for 10 minutes. It's only, you're going to see about 30 seconds of it. People start to crowd around him because they've never seen anyone who looks like him before, and they start to ask him all sorts of questions about where he comes from and can they take his photo. And then you'll see a few more quick clips after that, lasting a few seconds each, of different things I've seen in the country where I am. Let's see if you can spot the country now. Thank you very much. We'll speak to you in a second. Ni hao.
It costs 4 tickets.
你好，请回答大神。
Very pleased to meet you. Do you speak English?
你来中国干嘛？
你会说英语吗？
不会，不怎么会。
不会。Oh, don't mind.
跟你和你拍个照吧。
Got a picture, okay?
要合影啊，要合影啊。
All right. important game of Chinese checkers. And let's see who's playing. Oh, it's getting very exciting here. They're trying to make up their minds which way to move. What shall they do? Mr. Orange is making a move, making an important move. And now they're arguing about whether they should do. Everyone's got their opinion. What should we do next? No, do this one. No, do that one. He says. No, you're stupid. He says. That's not the right. I've had to split the video you're about to watch into 3 parts. Otherwise, we've got very slow uploading here. So feel free to watch part 1, part 2, and part 3. They'll each take about 2 hours to upload. So if you're watching this immediately, you might have to wait for part 2.